Suspend your disbelief, your rational, analytic mind, just for a minute, just for the length of this podcast. What if all I am about to tell you is the truth? What if the information you will be provided is from a divine source? Just for this time, I am your Axis Mundi. Consider this podcast your channel, your second opinion. When I do a reading, something larger than myself is working through me. So ask what you wish. This is your channel, your doorway to the divine.
Welcome to John's Tarot. Welcome to the final episode 10 of the series of John's Tarot Soul Awakening series. As you've been following this work from the beginning, you may have noticed something subtle happening, not just in the material, but perhaps in yourself. Not dramatic changes, no sudden awakenings, no personality overhaul, but small shifts. You may find that you listen a little more carefully, that you're more present in conversations, that you pause before reacting, that you're a bit more consistent, a bit more accountable, not because someone is watching, but because something inside you has aligned. This is what this work actually does. It doesn't turn you into someone else. It doesn't elevate you above anyone. It doesn't make life easier in a magical way. What it does is quietly reorganize how you relate to authority. Earlier in life, most of us lived from an outer authority. Rules, roles, expectations, belief systems, approval or fear of disapproval. That's not wrong. It's necessary. It's how we learn to function. But there comes a point, often after loss, sobriety, crisis, or sustained inner work, which is what we've done here, where outer authority no longer carries the same weight, and something else begins to form, an inner authority. Not an ego authority, not I know better than everyone else, but a quieter, steadier orientation, a sense of responsibility that comes from alignment rather than pressure. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to defend it. You don't need to convince anyone. You simply live differently. This final episode is about that transition, not as achievement, not as destination, but as a way of being that emerges naturally when the work has been allowed to do its job. This is not the end of a journey, but it is the completion of this phase. Welcome to episode 10. This episode is about what remains when there's nothing left to prove. So I hope you enjoy my little video I prepared for today, and we'll talk a little bit after the video. Okay, enjoy. Episode 10, Service, Living What Has Been Integrated. From John's Tarot Soul Awakening series. Throughout the series, we've explored the inner journey, the ego, the shadow, the persona, the inner opposite, synchronicity, death and rebirth, and embodiment. But individuation does not end in self-understanding. When the work is real, when it has been integrated, it naturally turns outward. This final episode is about service, not as obligation, sacrifice, or moral duty, but as a quiet expression of a life that has become more whole. What service is not? Service is often misunderstood. It is not rescuing others, fixing the world, preaching insight, being needed, spiritual performance, self-erasure. Jung warned that premature service often hides unresolved complexes. When service is driven by ego, it exhausts both the giver and the receiver. Service as a consequence of individuation. When individuation is genuine, service arises naturally, not because we should help, but because something in us no longer is fragmented. As inner conflict lessens, energy becomes available. As identity stabilizes, compassion becomes quieter and more reliable. This is not heroic service. It is appropriate presence. How service actually shows up. Real service often looks ordinary. It may appear as listening without needing to respond, holding boundaries calmly, showing up consistently, offering skill without attachment, speaking truth without aggression, stepping back when appropriate, refusing roles that distort integrity. Much of this service is invisible, and that is a sign it is healthy. Tarot and service. The tarot reflects service through archetypes that are grounded and relational. Key cards. The Hermit, service through presence and example. Temperance, holding balance for the sake of others. The Empress, care, nourishment, generativity. The World, participation without inflation. These cards do not demand attention. They simply do the work. Service, recovery, and responsibility. In recovery, service is often discussed carefully and for good reason. Healthy service follows stability. It respects limits. It does not replace personal responsibility. It does not bypass humility. When grounded, service becomes a way of staying aligned, not a way of proving worth. The Service Tarot Spread. As in every episode, I give you an example of a free tarot layout to examine a material we just talked about. This is a 5-card layout. It's not that complicated. On the top line, you'll have cards 2 and 4. On the bottom line, you'll have cards 1, 3, and 5. So card 1, what is stable within me? What is genuinely integrated and no longer reactive? This is your inner foundation. Card 2, to the upper right of card 1, the quality skills of presence that flow without strain. This is not what you should offer, it's what emerges organically. Card 3, back on the bottom line. Where service could become distorted through overgiving, rescuing, or ego. This card prevents burnout and inflation. Card 4, back on the top line. How life is quietly inviting you into contribution. This is not a dramatic calling, it's a subtle and practical one. Card 5, back on the bottom line. How to serve in a way that preserves your integrity, health, and balance. This anchors the spread in real-world stability. Why this layout works? Center first. Service flows from stability, not insecurity. It has an outward arc, inner work moving into the world. There's no outcome card. Service is ongoing, not goal-based. Boundary card is included, prevents martyrdom. A subtle asymmetry mirrors real life, imperfect and adaptive structures. This spread visually teaches as much as it reveals. How to read this spread? Slowly, practically, without spiritualizing, without hero narratives, with intention to fit rather than grandeur. If a card suggests something small or ordinary, trust it. When to use this spread? Best used after embodiment work, when seeking meaningful contribution, when feeling called to help but unsure how, when recalibrating purpose, during life transitions. This spread is not ideal for rescuing impulses, guilt-driven service, early recovery instability, or identity oversearching. This spread isn't about being needed. It's about letting what's already integrated flow outward in a grounded way. In closing, a quiet contemplation. Service is not the goal of individuation, it is the result. When the work has done its work on us, our presence alone begins to matter. This does not end the journey, it grounds it. Thank you for walking this path with me. Where the work goes next, that unfolds in life itself. Thank you for joining me here on John's Tarot. It's been quite a journey that we've been on together. I hope I've made the journey a little easier for you, because this journey may happen to you several times in life. You can always refer back to this. It'll be up on the podcast, or it'll be on YouTube. Easy for you to find, easy for you to reference. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a little live example of how to perform the Service Awakenings Tarot spread. It's a 5-card spread. It's relatively easy. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the journey. Now, if you have participated in this journey from the beginning, there's definitely been some changes psychologically with you. And the work itself is remarkable. And I'll be going to do some podcasts on that in the coming weeks. I hope you'll enjoy. I'm going to be doing more podcasts only and slow down on my video work. I've also got a computer to build, a website to redesign. So I got a lot of things going on and a vacation to go on. So good things are happening. Some remarkable things came out during the podcast itself. And I will explain those in the audio podcast, which we're going to do in the future. My ability to read tarot is a gift, an expression of divine love, and I'm here to share it with you in that same spirit. So in this tarot spread, I'll go ahead and I'll lay out the cards, and I'll go ahead and read them. My first card will be Cut the Deck. What is stable within me? What is genuinely integrated and no longer reactive? This is your inner foundation. What's it going to be for me? What is stable within me? I can read it just as we go. That's the Devil card. All my bad habits. I don't know if all my bad habits are stable, but certainly, I've had problems with addiction and alcoholism and have gone through the process of recovery. I've had things in me that have made me feel not less than and not equal to, low self-esteem. And that all those things are stabilized within me currently. I'm sober 36 years. I've spent the last 36 years doing esteemable acts. So those things have stabilized within me. Life of sobriety has stabilized within me. It's just something I do now. It's not something I have to work at so desperately. People with long-term sobriety are often referred to as swans. They appear to be swimming gracefully across placid waters. But if you could look underneath the water, you see those feet kicking like hell to keep that ass afloat. And that's kind of what happens after long-term sobriety. I'm a swan. I'm pretty stable. What I naturally offer. These quality skills are presence that flow without strain. What do I currently offer? Guidance. And this one is the Hermit. What do I offer? Guidance, an example. What does long-term sobriety look like? What does long-term transition, I don't want to say transition, but I've gone through a total transformation. What does long-term transformation look like? What does intense transformation look like? Looks like the Hermit. Somebody who's come a long way, who has climbed many mountains and overcome many obstacles. In his hand, he holds the lamp of wisdom and a staff of steadiness and a surety and experience. And he looks back and he wonders, how can I help the people who need to come this far, who need to make this journey? And he looks ahead on the journey he has to make ahead of him. But he's calm, he's stable. And that is what I naturally offer: calmness, stability, experience. Where boundaries are needed. Card 3. That is the 4 of, where boundaries are needed, the 4 of Cups. So, the 4 of Cups, where boundaries are needed. It shows a guy who's disappointed in life, a little, disappointed with the things that have come his way. Move it out this way so we can see it all better. He's a little disappointed. He's like, is that it? Is that all? Is that all there is? And the answer is no, that's not all there is. There's more coming. You see the cup behind him here. There's more coming. There's more to be explored. There's more to be learned. This journey of individuation is a revolving journey. It's an initiation, and it revolves, and it continues to change. And there's more coming with each revolution, with each turn of the wheel, like in the Wheel of Fortune. There's more to come, and just wait. Where boundaries are needed, don't be disappointed. I've gone through a bit of an initiation process myself of just doing the podcast. And be calm, wait, and see what the next thing is that life will present. And that's where my boundaries, where service come distorted over overgiving, rescuing, or ego. So for me, that's it. Just to wait. There's more coming. I don't have to rescue anybody. I don't have to go out there and charge into it anymore. Just wait. And then fourth card, how service is asked of me. How life is quietly inviting you to contribution. And this one is the 10 of Wands, which I don't know if I'm particularly happy about. As how service is asked of me, how life is quietly inviting you into contribution. That's the card of more work. That's how I'm looking towards retirement. But I think this work has to do more with spiritual work. Works in regards to this work I've done and presented to you freely. I'm going to have more work coming my way. And that's all right. That's a good thing, and I'm happy about that. And then the fifth card is a sustainable expression, how to serve in a way that preserves integrity, health, and balance. There's anchors to spread in real-world sustainability. I mean, what is this card going to be? Very interesting. The 8 of Cups. For me, that's talking about walking away from a material and more to a spiritual life. So I'm probably going to be moving away from my long-term career and moving more into a spiritual career, moving more into retirement. It's that time in my life, and that's okay. That's okay. I have everything I need. I have everything I want. And really the things I want and need in this part of my life are different. So I'm going to be walking away from that old part of my life and making a transition into a new part of my life. And I'm going to have to work out how to be of service. One of the ways I'm going to be of service in this new part of my life is through the work that I provided and through the podcast that's going to be ongoing and moving forward. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for this week, this whole series.
Goodbye, Professor Marvel, and thanks a lot.
Well, it has been my pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed this journey. This is going to be on my website at johnstarot.net in more of an organized fashion. I'm going to reorganize the website because it is an important psychological journey and means for change in a human being's life, psychological change and a higher level of thinking. And this is what I've been able to contribute to the emerging collective consciousness. I hope you take advantage of it. It's going to be a map that's going to continue to exist. If something comes up for opportunity for, I don't know, if somebody wants me to do a book, I'd be happy to do a book, but I'd have to hear from a publisher first. If somebody wants me to do a retreat, I'd be happy to do a retreat. Just contact me and we'll work something out. So until next week, be careful, be cool, be kind, have strength, find faith, definitely have courage. And I will continue to communicate with you on John's Tarot. So enjoy the map I've laid out for you. Enjoy your journey ahead of you. And I'm going to continue to be with you on John's Tarot. All right. Be cool. Have a great week. All right. Bye-bye.